My wife Haley 28F and I 30M tied the knot just 5 weeks ago after 3 amazing years of dating. We had a beautiful, intimate wedding surrounded by our closest family and friends. It wasn't extravagant, but it was perfect for us, and we covered most of the expenses ourselves. From the moment we started planning, Haley had her heart set on a dream honeymoon. For months she showed me pictures of this breathtaking destination, crystal clear turquoise waters, powdery white sand, and luxurious villas perched above the sea. It was expensive, no doubt, but I wanted her dream to become a reality. So, I booked it. 12 days in paradise. We arrived 3 days ago, after a long and tiring flight. The moment we stepped into the resort, it felt like we had stepped into one of those glossy travel brochures. Everything was just like the pictures, maybe even better. Haley's face lit up with pure joy. She couldn't stop taking photos and kept repeating, "This is perfect. Thank you." Saying her that happy made every dollar and every mile worth it. Our first full day was yesterday, and we made the most of it. A lazy breakfast, long walks along the shoreline, swimming in the warm, clear ocean. It was everything we'd hoped for. But by the afternoon, I started feeling a headache creeping in. Probably from the jet lag and too much sun. I mentioned I needed to grab some painkillers and more bottled water. Haley was lounging in the villa, already gearing up to FaceTime her best friend Monica to rave about the resort. She barely looked up from her phone and just said, "Okay, sure," still caught up in the magic of the place. Our villa, by the way, is one of those overwater bungalows, spacious, serene, and straight out of a honeymoon fantasy. The bedroom was in the back part of the hut. The main living area and the balcony were at the front facing the ocean. I thought there might be some extra water bottles, or maybe a small first aid kit with some basic medicine near the minibar area, which was closer to the entrance of the hut. If not, I figured I would have to call the front desk. I stepped out of the main living area and went towards the entrance section of the hut to look for the water and medicine. I found a couple of small bottles of water in a little fridge there. And thankfully I remembered I had packed some headache pills in my carry-on bag which I'd left near the door. So I took a pill and drank a full bottle of water. I felt a little better. When I walked back towards the main living area intending to go to the bedroom to lie down, Haley was already on her phone call. She was standing on the balcony with her back to the room looking out at the ocean. She was talking to Monica. The door to the balcony was partly open, I guess, to let the sea breeze come in. She did not hear me walk back into the main room. I tend to walk quietly anyway. I was about to say something just to let her know I was back and heading to the bedroom, but then I heard the tone of her voice change. It was not her normal chatting voice. It sounded more excited than before. It sounded like she was sharing a big secret. And the first few words I heard clearly made me stop where I was. I did not make a sound. I heard her say, "Oh my God, Monica, I can't wait. It's all working out perfectly." Monica must have asked what she meant. Haley then said, "Noah." Say Noah. He said he can get away for a few days. My ears perked up. Noah is a high school boyfriend. I knew they were friends on social media, but I did not think they talked much. Haley had told me a long time ago that he was married. She kept talking, her voice full of energy. "He's going to try and meet me in a city near our honeymoon location, but not on the island itself when we leave here. Or maybe I'll go to a different city further away for a bit on the way back." I told him I could make it work. Then, she giggled. A kind of sneaky giggle. I've been talking to him for like 6 months now. Can you believe it? He's so unhappy with his wife. He said I'm the only one who understands him. 6 months. That means she was talking to him before our wedding. While we were planning our future. While I was working to pay for this honeymoon she wanted so badly. I heard her say, "Yeah, my name has no idea. He's so predictable. He'll just want to go straight home. I'll say I want to visit my cousin in city," she mentioned as a possible Noah meeting spot. "For a few days before heading back. He won't care. He'll be fine with it." She told Monica how Noah still made her feel things. How they had so much history, how he was her first love. And you never forget your first love. She said she deserved to be happy and Noah made her feel a spark she hadn't felt in ages. Wow. She was gushing about him, about meeting him. It sounded like this plan to meet Noah was more important, more exciting to her than our actual honeymoon. I did not move. I just stood there in the living area listening. My headache was completely gone, replaced by a cold feeling in my chest. I could not believe what I was hearing. This was our honeymoon, a place she said was her dream. And all along she was planning to meet another man. After she finished her call, she came back into the living room from the balcony. She was smiling, looking very pleased. She saw me and said, Oh, you're back. Feeling any better? I just looked at her. I did not say anything for a moment. She asked, "Are you okay? You look pale." I said my headache is gone. She went to take a shower. While she was in the bathroom with the water running, I thought very hard. I replayed her words in my head. 6 months, he has no idea, deserved to be happy. The lies, the planning. When she came out of the shower, she was humming a little tune. She seemed very happy and relaxed. I stood up from the chair I had sunk into. I walked towards our suitcases in the bedroom area. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I am packing my things." She laughed, a confused sound. "Packing for what? We just got here." "Are you planning a surprise?" I said, "I'm going home." Her face changed. The smile disappeared. "What are you talking about? Are you sick? Did something happen?" I said, "No, I'm not sick." I opened my suitcase and started putting my clothes into it. She started to look worried, a bit annoyed. "Hey, stop this. This isn't funny." "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I heard your call with Monica." Her eyes. Few angry texts. "You should have spoken to us first. And you have shamed our family. And Haley would never do such a thing. She is a good girl." I did not reply to those. Monica, her BFF Monica, sent me a few messages on social media. "You need to call Haley. You guys need to talk this out." Then she made a mistake. Okay. But leaving her like that seriously messed up. And finally, "You're an ass." She's heartbroken. I hope you're happy. I blocked Monica. If she knew about this plan, she is not my friend. And Haley's tone on the call made it sound like Monica knew everything. My actions since returning. 1. I spoke to a lawyer. First thing Monday morning, he said I have grounds for an annulment or a divorce based on fraud. He asked if I wanted to try and reconcile. I said, no, absolutely not. He started preparing the paperwork. 2. I changed the locks on my house. Haley has a key, or had a key. She never officially moved in all her stuff. She still had her old apartment, but was supposed to give it up next month. We were going to move her things properly after the honeymoon. Now she will not be moving in here. 3. I went to our bank. I have a separate account, and we had that small joint account for wedding gift money. There's about in it. I moved half of it into my separate account. I left a half there. I documented this. I also closed a joint credit card we got for honeymoon expenses that we had barely used. My lawyer said this was fine. 4. I started gathering any evidence. I don't have a recording of the call, obviously, but I wrote down everything I heard immediately after. My lawyer said my testimony would be maybe work. According to a short call I took from her sister, who was more reasonable and just wanted to know Haley was physically safe before her parents arranged everything. Haley is still at the resort. Her parents had to book her a new flight. It is apparently very expensive to get a last-minute flight from that remote location. She is supposed to fly back tomorrow or the day after. Her sister said Haley is a wreck. Crying, not eating, then screaming. She also said Haley keeps saying I misunderstood and that I am destroying our lives over nothing. No sign of her taking responsibility. I have not heard anything about Noah or his wife. I did not contact Noah or his wife. I considered it. I thought about sending an anonymous message to his wife, but my lawyer said to wait and see and not to do anything that could make me look vindictive if this divorce gets messy. He said the priority is ending the marriage cleanly. For now, I have followed that advice. The information about Noah is mainly for my justification for ending the marriage. I still feel mostly numb. Sometimes I feel angry. Sometimes I feel a bit stupid for not seeing anything. But there were no signs. She seemed happy, excited for the wedding, for our life. Or so I thought. My phone is quieter now. I blocked Haley's number after a few too many screaming voicemails. Her parents have my number and her sister. I will talk to them for logistics about Haley's things, but that's it. I am just waiting for the divorce papers to be ready to be served. I do not think I think I reacted to a huge betrayal. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I will update again if there are big changes. Update 2. Hello again. It has been a couple of weeks since my last update. A lot has happened. Haley is back in the country. The divorce papers were served and we had a confrontation. It was not good. Haley got back about 5 days after my last update. Her parents paid for her new flight. I heard from her sister that here alone in a foreign country. Are you insane? You cancelled my ticket. I'm stranded. How could you do that to me? You called my parents. You absolute bastard. You told them lies. Then the text became just strings of screaming in capital letters. A lot of bad words. A lot of threats saying I have ruined her life, ruined her reputation. I am sitting in my house. It is very quiet here. I feel numb mostly. But I need to know. Am I the asshole for leaving her there? For canceling her ticket? And for telling her parents exactly why I did it? I feel like she betrayed me in the worst possible way. She was clearly going to cheat on me. She lied to me for months. Our wedding, this honeymoon, it feels like it was all based on a lie. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Update 1. Okay. It has been 4 days since my first post. Thank you for the comments. Most of you said Nante. Some said I should have confronted her differently or not told her parents, but I stand by what I did. I am still home. The jet lag is bad, but not as bad as the situation. Nay. My phone continued to blow up for the first 48 hours. It has quieted down a little now, but not completely. Haley. Her first messages after I left were frantic and angry. Like I said, lots of capital letters and exclamation points. You can't just leave me here. I have no money. How am I supposed to get home? She had a credit card, but I guess it has a low limit. We had a joint account for wedding gifts that had some money, but she never got a card for it. I did. I haven't touched that account yet. My parents are going crazy thanks to you. You are a monster. I hate you. Then came the voicemails. Some were her crying, sobbing, saying I misunderstood everything, saying she was just fantasizing, and would never have actually met Noah, saying she loves me. Other voicemails were her screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear, calling me every name you can think of, saying I am controlling and abusive for leaving her, saying I humiliated her. One voicemail said Noah means nothing to me. You've ruined my reputation with my family for nothing. She demanded I reinstate her ticket, demanded I send her money, demanded I call her parents and tell them I made it all up. I did not reply to any of her texts or answer any of her calls. What is there to say? I heard what I heard. Her parents. Her mom called me maybe 20 times the first day. Her dad called about 10 times. I answered one call from her dad on the second day. He sounded tired. He said, "Son, what is all this?" Haley is hysterical. She said, "You abandoned her over a misunderstanding." I told him, "I told your wife what I heard." Haley was on a call with Monica. She was planning to meet Noah. She said she'd been talking to him for 6 months. She said he was married. She had a plan to lie to me to go see him after the honeymoon. I'm not mistaken. He sighed. He said, "Noah, her old boyfriend. I thought that was long over." I said, "Apparently not." He asked me if I was sure. I said I was 100% sure. I told him a few more direct quotes I remembered from her call. Things like her saying Noah made her feel a spark, and that she deserved to be happy. He was quiet for a bit. Then he said, canceling her ticket and leaving her there, that was harsh. I said, finding out your wife of 3 weeks is planning to open her legs to another man on your honeymoon is harsh. Finding out she's been talking to him for the 6 months leading up to our wedding is harsh. He did not have much to say to that. He said they were trying to figure out how to get her a flight home. He sounded embarrassed. He did not yell at me. He just sounded sad. Her mom sent me a few angry texts came from her mom. You should have spoken to us first, and you have shamed our family, and Haley would never do such a thing. She's a good girl. I did not reply to those. Monica, her BFF, sent me a few messages on social media. You need to call Haley. You guys need to talk this out. Then she made a mistake, okay? But leaving her like that seriously messed up. And finally, you're an ass. She's heartbroken. I hope you're happy. I blocked Monica. If she knew about this plan, she is not my friend, and Haley's tone on the call made it sound like Monica knew everything. My actions since returning: 1. I spoke to a lawyer first thing Monday morning. He said I have grounds for an annulment or a divorce based on fraud. He asked if I wanted to try and reconcile. I said no, absolutely not. He started preparing the paperwork. 2. I changed the locks on my house. Haley has a key, or had a key. She never officially moved in all her stuff. She still had her old apartment but was supposed to give it up next month. We were going to move her things properly after the honeymoon. Now, She will not be moving in here. 3. I went to our bank. I have a separate account. And we had that small joint account for wedding gift money. There was about in it. I moved half of it into my separate account. I left her half there. I documented this. I also closed a joint credit card we got for honeymoon expenses that we had barely used. My lawyer said this was fine. 4. I started gathering any evidence. I don't have a recording of the call, obviously, but I wrote down everything I heard immediately after. My lawyer said my testimony would maybe work. According to a short call I took from her sister, who was more reasonable and just wanted to know Haley was physically safe before her parents arranged everything. Haley is still at the resort. Her parents had to book her a new flight. It is apparently very expensive to get a last-minute flight from that remote location. She is supposed to fly back tomorrow or the day after. Her sister said Haley is a wreck, crying, not eating, then screaming. She also said Haley keeps saying I misunderstood and that I am destroying our lives over nothing. No sign of her taking responsibility. I have not heard anything about Noah or his wife. I did not contact Noah or his wife. I considered it. I thought about sending an anonymous message to his wife, but my lawyer said to wait and see and not to do anything that could make me look vindictive if this divorce gets messy. He said the priority is ending the marriage cleanly. For now, I have followed that advice. The information about Noah is mainly for my justification for ending the marriage. I still feel mostly numb. Sometimes I feel angry. Sometimes I feel a bit stupid for not seeing anything. But there were no signs. She seemed happy, excited for the wedding, for our life, or so I thought. My phone is quieter now. I blocked Haley's number after a few too many screaming voicemails. Her parents have my number and her sister. I will talk to them for logistics about Haley's things, but that's it. I am just waiting for the divorce papers to be ready to be served. I do not think I am the asshole. I think I reacted to a huge betrayal. Her parents paid for her new flight. I heard from her sister that the journey was difficult, multiple stops, long layovers. Her sister said Haley arrived exhausted and very emotional. Her parents picked her up from the airport. For a few days, it was quiet. I guess she was recovering at her parents' house. My lawyer sent the divorce papers to her parents' address by process server. He advised this was the best way to ensure she received them formally. She was served 3 days ago. But yesterday morning, my doorbell rang repeatedly. I looked through the peephole. It was Haley and her mother. I was not surprised. I opened the door. Before I could say anything, Haley started shouting, How could you do this to me? How could you destroy our marriage? How could you humiliate me like this? Her voice was shaking. She tried to push past me into the house. I blocked the doorway. I said, Haley, there is nothing to discuss. You were served the papers. Our marriage is over. Her mother said, can we please just come in and talk about this calmly? This is not how things should be handled. I said, no. There will be no calm discussion about her plans to cheat on me. I am not interested in talking. I am only interested in finalizing the divorce. Haley started to cry. Then, I didn't do anything. You twisted everything. Noah is just a friend. I was just excited to see an old friend. You are so jealous and insecure. I said, you told Monica you had been talking to him for 6 months. You said he was unhappy with his wife. You said he gave you a spark. You had a plan to lie to me to go see him. Those are not the actions of just a friend. She screamed, you're a liar. You're making things up to make me look bad. Then she lunged at me. She tried to slap my face. I stepped back and she stumbled past me into my hallway. Her mother gasped. I said firmly, Haley, if you touch me, I will call the police. She turned around. You ruined my life, my dream honeymoon, my reputation. My parents are ashamed of me because of your lies. Her mother stepped in then. Haley, calm down. Let's not make this worse. She tried to put her arm around Haley, but Haley pushed her away. No, he needs to hear this. He is a cruel, evil man. Haley yelled. She then picked up a small vase from a hallway table and threw it on the floor. It shattered. That's it, I said. I took out my phone. I am calling the police. As soon as I said police, Haley's demeanor changed a bit. The fight went out of her a little, replaced by a sort of underscore of panic. Her mother said, no, please don't. We will leave. Haley, we are leaving now. She grabbed Haley's arm. Haley was still muttering things like, he'll pay for this, and I did nothing wrong. Her mother pulled her out of the door. Before she left, her mother looked at me and said, she is very upset. She is not herself. This whole thing, It's a terrible shock. I just looked at her. I said, she made her choices. They left. I closed the door. I took a deep breath. My hands were shaking a little from the adrenaline. I did not call the police then, as they left, but I took pictures of the broken vase. I wrote down exactly what happened, when it happened, and what was said. My lawyer told me to document everything. About an hour later, Haley's father called me. He apologized for Haley's behavior and for the broken vase. He said Haley was extremely distraught and not thinking clearly. He said they were trying to get her help. He also said Haley refuses to sign the divorce papers. She is saying she will fight it. She is saying, I have no grounds. I told him I have grounds. Your daughter committed fraud by marrying me while having an emotional affair and planning a physical one. He sighed heavily. He did not argue with me. He just said, this is a mess. A terrible mess. About Noah and his wife, here is a small update on that front. My lawyer had initially advised against contacting Noah's wife. However, after Haley was served, and it became clear she was going to fight the divorce and deny everything, my lawyer said it might be strategically useful if Noah's wife knew, as Haley's affair partner could be deposed if needed, and his wife's knowledge might corroborate the situation if Noah confessed to her. He said sending an anonymous letter with the basic facts, Haley's name, Noah's name, the 6-month communication, the plan to meet, to Noah's wife would not be illegal, though it could be seen as aggressive. I thought about it. Haley's complete lack of remorse and her attack on me pushed me over the edge. I wanted the truth out, so I did it. I typed a short anonymous letter. I included some of the specific phrases Haley used about Noah that I overheard, ones that only someone who heard the call or was told by Haley or Noah would know. I mailed it to Noah's wife. I found her address through some public record searches. It was easy to find. I do not know what will happen with that. It has only been a few days since I sent it. I do not expect to hear anything directly. But if it blows up Haley's plans with Noah for good, then that is a consequence of her actions. My lawyer said this could also backfire if Haley uses it to paint me as vengeful. I accepted that risk. My priority is the divorce, and if Noah confirms the affair to his wife, and she then tells someone or it comes out in their own potential divorce, it could help my case if Haley continues to lie. I am trying to get back to normal work, see my friends. The few I have told are very supportive. I am not sleeping well. Every time the phone rings, I expect it to be more drama. My lawyer said her not signing the papers just means it will take longer. It will go to a default judgment eventually if she doesn't respond, or we will have to go to court if she contests it with a lawyer. He said to prepare for her to try and make things difficult. Given her behavior yesterday, I believe him. She is not the person I thought I married. Not even close. The entitlement is stunning. The lack of any apology, any self-reflection is just amazing to me. He genuinely seems to believe she is the victim here, that I ruined her life by discovering her betrayal. So that's where things are. It's not getting better. It's getting uglier. I will update again when there are more developments. This is harder than I thought it would be. It has been nearly 2 months since the confrontation at my house and about 3 months since D-Day on the honeymoon. If I thought things were ugly then, I was naive. This divorce process is a special kind of hell, and Haley is making sure of it. Haley did not just refuse to sign the papers. She got a lawyer, a real shock from what I hear. They are contesting the divorce on the grounds that my reasons are fabricated and malicious. They are denying any affair or plan for an affair. Her lawyer sent a counter-proposal that made my jaw drop. Haley is demanding one, significant spousal support for a marriage that lasted 3 weeks before I found out about her betrayal. Her reasoning: emotional distress and public humiliation caused by my abandonment of her on the honeymoon and slanderous accusations to her parents. She also claims she quit a part-time job she had before the wedding in anticipation of being a married woman. And now, her earning capacity has been damaged. The job was 10 hours a week. 2. Half of all assets. This includes half the value of my house, which I owned for 5 years before we even met. Half of my savings. Again, mostly premarital. And half of the wedding gifts, even the ones from my family. She's also claiming the I took from the joint gift account was theft. 3. Payment for her ruined honeymoon and the cost of her emergency flight back. 4. Payment for her legal fees. 5. A formal apology from me for destroying her reputation. My lawyer said these demands are mostly outrageous and designed to pressure me. He said we will fight them all, but it means more time, more money, and more stress. Haley has been busy. She is trying to paint me as the villain to anyone who will listen, mutual friends, some of whom have reached out confused. Apparently, Haley told them I had a sudden mental breakdown on the honeymoon, became paranoid and controlling, and abandoned her by canceling her ticket. She said I made up the story about Noah to justify my abusive behavior. Some friends believe her, or at least are staying neutral in a way that feels like they believe her. Others know me better and are on my side, but it has still caused rifts. Social media. She has not named me directly, but she has made many vague posts about surviving betrayal, escaping a toxic marriage, being abandoned by someone you trusted, and lies being spread by a cruel person. Her friends, including Monica, comment with supportive messages calling her strong and brave. It makes me sick. Her family. Her parents are a mixed bag. Her dad seems to understand the truth, but is caught in the middle. He called me once very stressed and asked if there was any way to make this go away quietly. I told him she needs to admit the truth and sign the divorce papers without these ridiculous demands. He said she refuses. Her mom, from what I hear, is fully on Haley's side, believing I'm the bad guy who tricked her innocent daughter. Her sister still talks to me occasionally, mostly to express frustration with Haley's dramatics and refusal to face reality. She said Haley has emotional breakdowns daily, which usually involves screaming, crying, and blaming everyone but herself. The direct harassment has not stopped. It just changed. Blocked calls. I still get calls from no caller ID that I don't answer. I assume it's her. I dropped the divorce and tried to fix what I broke. My lawyer has a copy. Work incident. 2 weeks ago, she showed up at my workplace. I work in a fairly large office building. She got past the front desk by saying she was Mrs. S and was dropping off lunch for me. She came to my department and started shouting my name, demanding to talk to me. My manager and security had to escort her out. She was screaming that I was trying to ruin her and that I was a liar. It was humiliating. My HR department got involved. My lawyer sent a cease and desist letter to her lawyer about contacting me at work. Physical incident. Last week, I was putting my trash cans out on the curb in the evening. A car slowed down. It was her. She rolled down the window and started screaming obscenities at me. Then she threw a milkshake out the window at me. It mostly hit my arm and the wall of my house. Then she sped off. I got the license plate. It was her car. I called the police that time. They took a report. I cleaned up the milkshake. It was just another reminder of how unstable she is acting. My lawyer is using this for a possible restraining order application. I heard through Haley's sister that my anonymous letter to Noah's wife definitely arrived. Apparently, Noah's wife confronted him. He denied it at first and trickled out some truths, then maybe all of it. The sister said Noah and his wife are having serious problems. She also said Haley called Noah crying after his wife found out, and Noah apparently told Haley to leave him alone and that Haley, had caused enough trouble. So Haley's grand plan to run off with her married high school sweetheart is completely destroyed. According to her sister, Haley is furious about this. She blames me for ruining Noah's marriage and interfering in her personal life. The lack of self-awareness is astounding. She sees no connection between her actions and these consequences. It is always someone else's fault. Specifically my fault. My lawyer is now pushing for a court date. He said mediation is unlikely to work with someone this unreasonable and combative. We are preparing our financial disclosures and our arguments against her demands. He is confident about the spousal support, short marriage, her actions, but said dividing assets can always be tricky even with clear premarital contributions. He thinks her increasingly erratic behavior, work incident, milkshake attack, will actually help my case by showing her instability and lack of credibility. We are documenting every single incident. I am tired. This is exhausting. There are no good days, just days where it is slightly less awful. I just want this to be over. I want her out of my life. I have accepted there is no easy way out. I changed my phone number. Only family and close friends have the new one. I am considering moving once the divorce is final. I just want peace. This is my life now. Dealing with the fallout of marrying someone who is apparently a complete stranger with a secret life. I don't know when the next update will be, probably when there is a major court development, or knowing Haley, another crazy incident. Thanks for reading. Man, you. It helps to write it all down, even if it's just to show I am not the crazy one here.